Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Bunny and today I'm bringing you a long-awaited video from me. This is a new channel, but I did have an old channel and I had some videos like this before on my old channel, but this big collection video has been long anticipated. It is my vinyl record full collection video. So I've been collecting for about a year now and I have just over 40 records, so I think I have 41 or 42, so pretty good going for a year, I'd say, especially as they are all new, none of them are used, so although some used records can be very expensive, but you know, they're full retail price, so yeah. Should probably not spend so much on vinyl. But anyway, I'm a huge music fan. I'm a musician myself. I was recently in a band, had to quit because of my health, blah, 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 yada, 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 you know that, but I am a bassist and also other instruments. Music is my life, yada, yada. I've got Jared Way and Brendan Urie so far on my arm, and yeah, music is everything. I particularly love emo sort of stuff, alternative, post-hardcore, Panic at the Disco-y, sort of more theatrical side of things too, and just a whole bunch of stuff. But I also have some pop in here, some sort of folky alternative stuff, some musicals, all kinds of stuff in here, good stuff. So let's just get right into it. Although before we do start, I will tell you the system I am using at the moment. So I have an Audio-Technica LP 90 or 60, I think it's called. It's the pink one from Urban Outfitters. I only got the posh pink one because it was actually on sale, so that was kind of lucky, but I do hope to upgrade to either an old Technics player or an Audio-Technica LP 120, whatever they're called, or maybe even something different. I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% happy with this one, obviously, but it was the best I could afford at the time. And I do have some Wolfdale passive speakers as well, so those are great, and I'm using them with a tiny little like car amp sort of thing that isn't the best and it's kind of broken at the moment, but I am sort of saving up over time for a big old bad boy motherfucker amplifier thing. So let's finally get into this. So I'm just taking these out of the box that I store them in order that they're in right now. They're sort of semi-organized, but not entirely, not alphabetically or anything like that. And first up in here we have Chiodo's Devil. I love this record so much, you guys. Oh my god. So I have loved Chiodo's from back in the day, but I really slept on this newest record of theirs. And it is so good, honestly. We've got a fold out there, and the vinyl itself is printed absolutely beautifully. So it's a grey and black splatter kind of deal. Not all of my records are nice pressings by any means, you know, I've got a lot of plain black in there, but I do like a good special pressing. And for each of these records, I'm going to tell you my favourite songs, if I have specific favourites on each record. So for Devil, I would definitely say All Fish Lips Is Dead Now, Why the Monsters Matter. Why the Monsters Matter was the song that really hooked me into this album, and I absolutely freaking adore it. Why the Monsters Matter, 3 AM, and Sunny Days and Hand Grenades. Yeah, literally those songs from songs 3 to 6 are my absolute favorites, and this is just a fucking great post-hardcore kind of record that's really, you know, it's those boy bands who scream sort of vibe, but I fucking love it. Next up is a record that is highly influential in my musical growth and my history with music and everything, and that is Billy Talent's first self-titled album. This, my friends, is perfection. It was one of the albums that got me into the music I'm into now and that I play now, and oh, I owe so much to this. I literally discovered this record as soon as I moved back to Canada from moving back to Wales for the like second time or whatever. Then we moved back when I was a preteen or whatever, and super got into this. I would make everyone listen to it at lunchtime when we would put CDs in the CD player at lunch and everyone would sort of get a turn. I'd make everyone listen to this album, and it is just absolutely perfection. Ben Qualowicz was my first ever serious celebrity crush. yeah, and Aaron is such a massive inspiration and role model to me, as he has MS and is a chronically ill musician, and he's a drummer too, which is just insane. And he actually can't really drum all the time with the band anymore, and they get in another drummer, but he still is part of the band and he photographs for them, and it's just an amazing little bond that that band has, and I love it. So favorite songs is This Is How It Goes, which is the first track on the album. It's a banger to open up the album, and it is actually written about Aaron's battle with MS. Apparently it's written about MS and chronic illness and everything, so that just makes it so close to my heart. If you don't know me, I have chronic illness myself and am physically disabled. Technically I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and a whole host of other things, blah blah blah, but yes. This Is How It Goes, Line and Sinker, and River Below are probably my absolute faves on this album. Just please, if you've never listened to Billy Talent, listen to their first album first, then listen to everything they've ever done. Their first album is so close to my heart. And this is pressed on plain black. If I don't show you the record, just assume it's pressed on black. Next up is the newest record in my collection, and it was a present from my dad, an early Christmas present to cheer me up the other day, and it is Nirvana Unplugged in New York, the MTV recording thingy of it. I'm not a massive Nirvana fan. I will admit I don't really know all that much about them. I never really got into the 90s grunge side of things that much. I was more of a Green Day sort of person than a Nirvana sort of person, but this is a great record. It's really, really good. They are amazing. No matter what your musical tastes are, you can say that they're awesome. And I've enjoyed having this on in the background a few times. Don't have favourite songs, don't really know them all that well, but a really cool record nonetheless. Next up is a very big favourite. We have 21 Pilots' Vessel. Of course, you guys could have guessed that I'd have some 21 Pilots in here. This is actually the only top vinyl I have at the minute. And by the way, don't shout at me if I call them vinyls, not records. I know they're called records, not vinyls. It's just colloquial. It's just how we speak nowadays. So I know I'm an audiophile. I literally am an audiophile. I care about sound. I care about record collecting. I'm a musician, but I don't care if I call it vinyls, not records all the time. Anyway, rant over, before some old man shouts at me in the comments. But Vessel is an amazing, amazing, amazing record. Not sure which is my favourite top record. Not Trench. I don't really like Trench. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I'm one of those few that really is not a huge fan of Trench, so this is definitely one of my favourites up there though. Ode to Sleep is, again, a fantastic opening song to an album, and just so mind-bending in the genre-twisting way that it goes about things. The whole album is. I'm also a massive, massive fan of Semi-Automatic, The Run and Go. Trees and Truce, of course, are just stunning ends to the album, and Car Radio. I don't know, you can't really pick a favourite on this album, honestly. But this is pressed on clear, crystal clear vinyl, which is really cool. Love it. A very good one for your collection if you don't already have it. I better start going a little quicker and not talking about each record for so long, shouldn't I? Because I've got like 42 records. That's going to be a long ass video if I talk about every record for like a minute. Okay, moving on. Next we have a solo singer-songwriter sort of artist that some people might be surprised is one of my all-time favourite musicians and some of my favourite music that has literally saved my life in the past and all that stuff. But anyway, just getting into it. It is Jason Mraz. We sing, we dance, we steal things. Jason Mraz has always been a massive influence on me. The song on this album, Details in the Fabric, saved my life one night. Literally, won't go into details, but it literally stopped me from doing something that I could never come back from. Just listening to it on repeat, and this is a lovely fold out with some art. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I don't listen to this one on the record player enough. I really should. Actually, I think I'm going to do that after filming this video. But this album is stunning. He is such an amazing musician. No matter what you may think of his bigger hits and his newer songs and stuff like that, his old stuff like this and this album and Mr. A to Z and all that stuff. And if you look on YouTube and look up his shows that he did in like Barnes and Noble stores and stuff like that, he is just fucking phenomenal. And the way he works with Toca Rivera, oh, a musician's just fucking wet dream. He is killer. Favorite songs on here are Butterfly, Details in the Fabric, Only Human, If It Kills Me, and A Beautiful Mess. Definitely those. And I forgot that this is an etched vinyl. I think it is the second record that has the etching in it. Yes. So it is pressed on black, but it has all this beautiful etching. Not sure if you can see that at all, but it's all his little doodles of himself and little things, and it's really fucking cool. I would absolutely kill to see Jason Mraz live. I still haven't seen him live, and to see him live, especially with Toka and in like one of those small bedroom house shows he does or something, would just blow my mind. Right, getting into some of my favourite bands now, which I have multiple records for each band. So we have Fall Out Boy from Under the Cork Tree. This is the first one in their discography that I own. As we all know, their first record is impossible to fucking get on vinyl. Let's just not talk about it and how much it actually costs to buy one secondhand. But this is a phenomenal record, as we all know. My favourites on this one are, God, 7 Minutes in Heaven is probably one of my all-time favourite Fall Out Boy songs. Means a lot to me. Sophomore Slump or Comeback of the Year, amazing, just the lyrics and everything. And of course, Sugar We're Going Down and Dance Dance, just those, even though they are the big hits that everyone knows, they just are so iconic in my head. But definitely 7 Minutes in Heaven is a very underrated song in my opinion, and just gets me right here. Then we have Fall Out Boy, Folie à Deux. My favourites on here are I Don't Care, America's Sweetheart, What a Catch Donny is another one of those songs that has stopped me from doing things I would regret and stuff like that, just by listening to it on repeat some nights and stuff. And $20 Nosebleed, fucking epic song. Fall Out Boy are just phenomenal. My top faves, you know, like Fall Out Boy, MCR, Panic, the emo Holy Trinity. You can't get much better than them. And honestly, right here, oh, excuse my fentanyl patch marks, they're impossible to get the sticky stuff off. Anyway, right in here, in the spot up top here, I'm probably getting, wow, forgot his name for a second, Pete Wentz. I'm probably getting Pete Wentz tattooed in there to make the Holy Trinity complete on my arm, but yeah, just can't say enough good things about Fall Out Boy. And finally for Fall Out Boy I have Mania, which I really liked a lot more than most people seem to enjoy it. Some of my favourites are Stay Frosty Royal Milk Tea, really grew on me. Wilson, love it. Hold Me Tight or Don't. That little kind of salsa or Spanishy kind of Latin beat in it is just fucking great. Church, beautiful. Heaven's Gate, beautiful. The final kind of songs on the album, other than Young and Menace, Champion, Sunshine, Riptide, Bishop's Knife Trick, not such a big fan of, but yeah, those few songs on it are just beautiful. And this is pressed on coloured vinyl, however, it was, and it's got photos on the sleeve, but it was a big disappointment to me because it was supposed to be purple, like Mania purple, and it came just purple marble. By the way, I forgot it was even marble because you can barely see it in this. In certain lights you may see it better on camera, you may see it worse, but you can't see the marble. It's barely purple. And I also waited months and months and months for it to get here. Never pre-ordering again from that specific retailer that does band merch, but anyway, great album. Next is a massive fave of mine, and it is to do with the whole MCR crew, and that is Frank Iiero's Parachutes. This album, if you're not a massive fan yet of Frank's solo work, then you really should be. Well, I just say solo, it's a band, but you know what I mean, like his departure from MCR. Yeah, this album is fucking beautiful. Some of my favorites are Veins, 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 I'm a Mess, I'll Let You Down, Dear Percocet, I Don't Think We Should See Each Other Anymore. Those are probably my faves. This is printed on really nice bright blue vinyl, and it's just beautiful to listen to on the record player. Absolutely, please listen to Frank Iiero's solo stuff if you haven't yet. Another solo departure from MCR that I own is Jared Way's Hesitant Alien. This is the only picture disc I own, and I actually ordered it and didn't expect the picture disc to come because I don't particularly like picture discs. They may look really cool, but they affect the quality of the audio sound, and yeah, but this one's really fucking cool, so I can't complain because it has my beautiful cherry red haired post MCR G on there, and Lola, and on the back Lola G as Lola. And yeah, this album is very close to my heart again. I love G's solo stuff so much. It's so different from MCR, but there's still that just Jared Way sound to it. It's perfect. Brother is my favourite song on this album, but also love How It's Going to Be, The Bureau, Action Cat, No Shows. Yeah, Brother. And also Millions, like another album where they're all fucking banging. Banging, mate. Now going on to actual MCR, we have MCR, I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. This is, again, very underrated album compared to all their other albums. This is so underrated, guys. If you call yourself an MCR fan but haven't really ever listened much to this, then what the fuck are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Favourite songs on here are, ooh, Head First for Halos and Our Lady of Sorrows, those two together, I love those. Cubicles, Demolition Lovers, again, those two together, and Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough for the Two of Us. Yeah, just classic, and honestly, this takes me so far back. MCR, I discovered them in an issue of Alternative Press, back when that was how I discovered most of my music, and except for when bands toured to my town. That was how I discovered music, and I've been absolutely, clearly obsessed ever since. MCR saved my life. They are the #1, I've said that about a few songs now, but like they are the #1 band that has kept me going through thick and thin, still do to this day for well over 10 years now, and yeah, they're my everything. So next up, you can guess, is Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Just the classic signature MCR album in my eyes. Every single song on this album is absolute perfection. Everyone is my fave, but Give 'Em Hell, Kids, You Know What They Did to Guys Like Us in Prison, Thank You for the Venom, and It's Not a Fashion Statement, It's Death Wish, and I Never Told You What I Do for a Living. Those are all my faves. Definitely Thank You for the Venom and probably I Never Told You are my all-time faves on this album. I know, not the usual really, but yeah, just stunning. And when I listen to it, I picture the videos, the music videos in my head, and it's just, sorry, I keep itching my head, I don't know why, I'm not actually itchy, I'm just thinking of things, and yeah, anyway, absolutely just perfection. So of course, next up we have the Black Parade. This is, oh, so beautiful. It is pressed on black, however, we have, the final disc is again etched like that Jason Mraz one. Not sure if you can see that with the lighting, but it's just got the Black Parade artwork on there. And this album, guys, this album, you know, never mind any of this silly G-note stuff or, you know, all of the just cliche stuff about it. I really like the stickers in the middle too, by the way. But this album is just iconic. My favorite songs are Mama, Mama, Dead, fucking Famous Last Words. Just, I need to look to remind myself. Yeah, all of them. How can I not love all of them? But Mama, Dead, and Famous Last Words are probably my faves. Yeah, a lot of meaning to those for me. And Cancer too is beautiful, but yeah, I'm running out of things to say because all I can say is that these albums are perfection when it comes to MCR and these favourite bands of mine. Next in the list, I'm going to start trying to go through these even quicker again because it's just taking too long and it's all quite obvious what album's coming up next, but that is Panic at the Disco's Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Iconic. I'm saying the same words over and over again because this is sort of my little bit of my collection where it's all the same sort of favourite bands of mine, but favourite songs on here are Build God Then We'll Talk, There's a Good Reason These Tables Are Numbered, Honey, You Just Haven't Thought of It Yet. Those are probably my two faves, and I Write Sins Not Tragedies. Yeah, those are my two faves though. The final songs, definitely my faves. Brendan is everything. Best singer in the world, best vocalist by far that I've ever heard. No doubt about it. Next up we have Pretty Odd, a highly underrated album in my opinion. So many people dislike this one. This is sometimes my favourite Panic album, to be honest. Just absolutely love the whole thing as a whole, the way it plays through and the stories it brings up in my head and the images and everything. It is phenomenal. Next in my Panic collection so far is Vices and Virtues. This is a fantastic one. Hurricane, excuse me, a little mini burp there. Hurricane, Let's Kill Tonight, Always, and Nearly Witches, Ever Since We Met, are beautiful. Nearly Witches particularly, I find it so stunning, and Always, of course, is also just a heartbreaker when I hear it, but beauty. Death of a Bachelor is next. This is often one of my faves too, which I am ashamed to say kind of, because I feel like the earlier albums should obviously be my favourites, but honestly Death of a Bachelor is such a poppin' album. Crazy Equals Genius is underrated on it, if you ask me. Love that song. And Golden Days, I actually got this, oh, wrong arm. Wow, I forgot what arm my tattoo was on. This Stay Gold tattoo I actually got this past summer to represent the song Golden Days, as it was my song of this past summer. It was my theme song for the summer, and yeah, very important song to me. Very great album. And I also have All My Friends We're Glorious, the live Death of a Bachelor tour album. This is fantastic. Moving Out, Anthony's song. Whew, whew, I love it so much. That live is stunning, and Bo Rap, obviously Bohemian Rhapsody, is just, oh. And Night in the Afternoon. Night in the Afternoon is one of my all-time favourite Panic songs ever, so that live is just the best. And it's a really beautifully done live album. Okay, changing tone a little bit, we've got Muse, Origin of Symmetry. I'm a massive Muse fan. I know they're very divisive amongst people, but I adore Muse with all my heart. I think musically they are just technically phenomenal, and writing wise, and the whole the stories they come up with their concepts of their albums and everything. I mean, they're kind of concept albums, kind of not. Some of them, Drones obviously is definitely concept, but you know what I mean. This one is my all-time favorite older album from Muse. Space Dementia, I keep doing this, but it's just the best. Plug-in Baby into Citizen Erased is, like, you know, epic. Feeling Good, just all so epic. This is pressed on black as well, although the sleeves have some cool artwork on them, which is nice. Yeah, definitely, if you're trying to get into Muse and you want to listen to one of their older albums, I would say Origin of Symmetry for sure. Then we have, as I just mentioned, Drones. This album has a lot of memories with it for me. I know it's not that old, but when it came out, I was in Egypt with my mum on holiday, and we sat by the pool and listened to this album for the first time together by the pool, and it's very special to me because of that. I not long after that holiday actually lost my mum, so yeah, this album is stunning. The artwork for it was just done so well, and my favourite songs are Defector is my all-time favourite song on this album, and very, very meaningful and poignant for me. Reapers, The Handler, and then The Globalist. It's just like fucking beautiful, beautiful rock opera kind of, you know, climactic theatrical album of just absolute, oh, amazingness. I'm losing words. I don't know how to explain these albums because obviously I only have albums I like in my collection. So I'm losing good describing words. Next is The Rocket Summer Calendar Days, another one that you might, well, no, you're probably not surprised to find it in my collection, as this was a good emo kid singer-songwriter kind of person. He is just the cutest little guy, and I loved this album when it first came out back in the early 2000s, 2003, yeah. Loved this album. This is a re-release, an independent release from 2011, I believe, and it is pressed quite beautifully. Ta-da! Very nice. And my favourite songs on this are What We Hate We Make is just one of the most beautiful songs ever, in my opinion. Honestly, so beautiful. TV Family, Mean Thoughts and Cheap Shots, those are my faves. But What We Hate We Make is, honestly, if you want to just go listen to a few songs that I'm suggesting here, definitely make that one of them. Just type it in Spotify, have a listen. It is stunning. If you like songs with like surprise backing choirs and stuff, definitely listen to it. Then we have The Rocket Summer Do You Feel? I never listened to this one all that much because this came out in 2007, I believe. It was a bit later and I kind of wasn't so much into The Rocket Summer at that point. But I got this album because I was in a bit of a Rocket Summer phase a few months ago, and this is a good album. Couldn't honestly give you favourite songs on it. It's one of those ones that I just kind of listen to the whole thing and enjoy it. But this is printed on a crisp white, which is really nice. And yeah, again, Rocket Summer is just one of those dudes that I just like to put on in the background when I'm studying or something like that, and just want some nice, enjoyable, but, you know, not too calm music in the background. Next is probably my most expensive record in my collection, although I got it when it had come right down in price to about 45 or 50 pounds, I think, or 40 pounds maybe. But it is the Book of Mormon soundtrack. I'm a massive musical theatre nerd. I was a thespian myself. I trained theatrically for my whole life and was a competitive dancer and all those kinds of things before I got very unwell and physically disabled. But anyway, enough about me. This musical, if you haven't already listened to it, listen to it. Unless you're religious and you'll be offended by the content. Yeah, this isn't for religious people. This is for the opposite, despite the name. Some people get a bit confused, but no, the Book of Mormon is very sacrilegious, let's say. So this is a beautiful triple fold out, and there's some cool things in here. First of all, it is pressed on gold, which is really nice. Each act is on a different record, and it's got a whole bunch of it's got a book in there with all the lyrics and stuff, and it has, which is really cool, if I can find it, I don't know which slot it's in here, but it came with a sticker sheet, which I'm really tempted to use, but I'm trying to keep the whole collection all as pristine as possible, just in case one day I want to sell it or something. So it has little Book of Mormon stickers with Andrew Rannells and all those guys, and yes, just absolutely beautiful musical. My favorite songs in this musical are You and Me, Turn It Off, Hello, 2x2, you know those first songs, and one of my further on in the acts, I really like All American Prophet. That's a really good one. It's just so jazzy and reminds me of Joseph or something like that. But yeah, great. Next we have Baby Metal, Metal Resistance. No surprise here that I like this band. I am a otaku who loves Japan and all things Japanese, and am learning Japanese myself, so this album really helps me with that. And I also love metal and hardcore music, so this makes total sense. Great album. The girls are just so talented, and my favourite songs are Awadama Fever, Yava, and The One is so beautiful. Another one of those songs that just gives me musical frisson in my back. If you don't know what musical frisson is, look it up. It's a very interesting phenomena that only some people get. I get it personally, which is really cool. But yeah, the one is like one of my ultimate musical friction songs, so I love, love, love this album. Now you may be wondering when watching this video, where the hell are all of your Green Day records, Bunny? And there's one in here, but only one so far, and I can only tell you that the reason for that is that the Green Day records I want are all the special edition, limited, printed ones on like coloured red vinyl from American Idiot and stuff like that, and they're really hard to get or they're quite expensive, so I've been putting it off all the time. But I have Dookie because I couldn't not have Dookie. This is one of the very first records I bought for my record player. Dookie is my favourite Green Day record, and I absolutely love Burnout, Longview, Welcome to Paradise, When I Come Around, Basket Case, all of them, but those are my super faves. Another one of my most expensive and probably worth the most already records, because it's quite limited, is the Sherlock original television soundtrack. I used to be a massive Sherlockian. These days it's not such a big obsession for me, but I was a massive Sherlockian. I put We Believe in Sherlock Holmes posters around my university when that whole debacle was going on. Yeah, a massive fan. This has the soundtrack, which I've always really, really loved to listen to when I'm studying and just chilling out and stuff like that. It is beautiful. It also has a print, a limited print of that photo on the front there, which is really nice, and one day I might get framed, I'm not sure. But yeah, this wasn't that expensive to order new, but it was limited to, I believe mine is numbered. Can't remember. Oh, I guess it's not numbered, but it was limited to like 1,000 copies at first or something, and then they printed another 2,000 or something. So there's only a couple of thousand copies out there, so fingers crossed one day that will be worth something, and not that I'll necessarily sell it, but it's just cool to own something like that. Okay, we're slowly getting there, guys. Next up we have Kate Nash, Made of Bricks. This is a really nostalgic record for me. I love Kate Nash, she's a badass. Favourite songs on here are Dickhead, Birds, We Get On, Mariella, Pumpkin Soup, and Skeleton Song. And also Nicest Thing and Merry Happy. But Skeleton Song is a very close song to me for the meaning that I have derived from it, and I even analysed it when we had to do a lyrics analysis of a favourite song or something in music class once in school, in high school. I analysed that song to pieces, and yeah, great fucking solo singer-songwriter album. Blink-182, self-titled, my favourite Blink album. Honestly, I'm surprisingly not the biggest massive Blink fan in the world. Like, I love them, but they're not like, I wouldn't get them tattooed on me sort of thing. But this album is just perfect in my eyes. It's one of those ones you gotta listen all the way through from beginning to end, I think. Faves are Violence. I love Down and the Fallen interlude, so beautiful. Here's Your Letter and I'm Lost Without You. Yeah, really fucking, like, if you don't like this album, what is wrong with you? This album, guys, if you don't like Bright Eyes, or you've never really listened to Bright Eyes and Connor, then what are you doing? Because Lifted or The Stories in the Soil, Keep Your Ear to the Ground, is one of my favorite albums ever lyrically. It is just absolutely perfect. This is pressed on black, but it was a nice Japanese pressing, which is really cool. It had the OB strip and everything, which I lost, of course, but yeah, this album is like lyrically just some of the most beautiful, deep songs you can find. Bowl of Oranges is an all-time fave. The Big Picture, Lover I Don't Have to Love, whoo, that one. Don't Know When, But a Day's Gonna Come. Let's Not Shit Ourselves, To Love and To Be Loved. Yeah, the lyrics in here, let me just read you like some of my favorites. Because there's been a great deal of discussion, yes, about the properties of man, animal or angel, you are carved from bone, but your heart, it's just sand, and the wind is going to scatter it and cover everything with love. So if it makes you happy, then keep kneeling, mama, but I am standing up. He's a poet. This is pure poetry. Honestly, if you like poetry and you like deep, lyrical musicians, then listen to this entire album, please. This is one of the ones that I hope people go and listen to if they've never heard it from this whole video. Next is just a silly one. This is the Now That's What I Call Music, the Christmas album. Picked this up at a grocery store last year. I'm going to start spinning it very soon since it is December now. But this just has the classics: Happy Christmas, War is Over, Wham, Last Christmas, Fairy Tale of New York, all the faves. What can I say? Christmas music, that's it. Another artist along the same lines as Bright Eyes is Keaton Henson. This is just one of the most stunning albums ever. Again, lyrically, he's a poet. My favorites are You. You meant a lot to me at a really hard time in my life as well. The Best Today, Lying to You, Teach Me. Yeah, those are my faves. Please listen to this album. I don't know what else to say, honestly. Really running out of things to say now, but please listen to it. Next is an album from a local band of people whom I know in Cardiff, and that is Juniorland by Junior. Well, it's called Greetings from Juniorland by the band Junior. They are pure pop punk goodness. It's pressed on one of the most beautiful pressings I have, actually, when it comes to just a plain color. It's this pale, beautiful bubblegum pink. And favorite songs on here are Maria. Maria is my favorite song for sure out of all of them. I don't spin this nearly as much as I should, but I love to support local bands, as I was in a local band myself for a while there, and yeah, good local Cardiff pop punk. Another one that might surprise you guys in my collection is Christina Aguilera Stripped. This one has a whole lot of memories for me. I just think this is one of the most perfectly produced albums ever. Especially when it comes to pop. The whole album is just really, really beautiful in my eyes, I think. I absolutely love Cruise and Soar. Cruise particularly. I love Can't Hold Us Down. I think that may be one of the reasons why I've been a feminist since I was very young, because of that song and that music video. Walk Away and Fighter. She's just, no matter what you think of her, no matter what you think of pop music, this album is a really good one, and she's pretty damn talented. A little bit more pop punk, we have Knuckle Puck Shapeshifter. This isn't a super fave of mine at all, but it is pressed on a nice purple, and I don't know, Nervous Passenger is a cool intro song and stuff, but as the album goes on I get kind of a bit bored. Not a massive Knuckle Puck fan, just kind of ordered this one day because it was super cheap. I think it was like on sale for like a tenner on Amazon, so I picked it up. Definitely not my fave pop punk of all time. Another random pop album is Kesha. What's this album called again? Can't even remember what this album is called. But this is her newest album anyway. Kesha is a strong ass lady. Bastards, Let 'Em Talk, Woman, and Praying are absolute faves, and Rainbow. She's just a queen, and this is really beautifully written, and I just wanted to support her, and I do listen to this a surprising amount, actually. I do listen to this album quite often, especially when I'm getting ready to go out or something like that, like, or if I just want to cry, I'll just listen to Praying on repeat, because she's a beautiful, beautiful human. Next one that I feel is a bit of a classic for the record player is Mumford & Sons' Sigh No More. Again, I'm not a massive Mumford & Sons fan. However, when I want to chill out, relax on a rainy night, do some studying, that sort of thing, this is an album I used to go to a lot. I don't so much anymore. I've gotten a bit bored of it, I guess, but I mean, it's beautiful for what it is. Not my usual style, but very, very good album. Another one I listen to when chilling out, studying, I need something a bit more low-key, is Edward Scissorhands, the soundtrack by Danny Elfman. Stunning, beautiful, amazing, all those descriptive words. Yeah, this is a great soundtrack though if you're looking to start a collection of soundtrack vinyl, or just, you know, expand on your soundtrack collection and you don't have this one yet. This one is a fave. I really like orchestral, classical, and soundtracks and stuff like that, so I highly rate this one. I also have the La La Land soundtrack. I love La La Land, absolutely love it. The first time I ever watched it, I was in a hospital bed, watching it on my laptop with headphones, and I cried and cried because I was just emotional anyway and not feeling very well. But I didn't absolutely adore it at first, even though I loved it and cried. It wasn't like, I kind of had some preconceptions about it because of being a musical theatre snob, basically. Didn't like that they didn't hire actual musical theatre actors and stuff like that, but then it just grew on me and grew on me. And now it's one that I watch a lot. It's pressed on blue, La La Land Blue, which is really nice. But it's one I watch a lot and I listen to a lot, and Ryan Gosling is just insane. I love him so much. He's so cool. Like, I don't have a massive crush on him like most people do, though he kind of looks like one of my exes a little bit. But anyway, yeah, La La Land is great. Next is one I got from a show. I got this when I saw Naked Giants randomly. I got some press passes to go see them. Some, not press passes, I just got guest list basically. And I quite enjoyed them. They're not my usual style music at all. It's kind of like Brit-poppy kind of thing almost. But some of the songs reminded me a bit of Jared Way's solo stuff, so I picked this up, and it is pressed again. I clearly really like pink pressings because this is another one of my all-time faves, and it's pressed on this proper bubblegummy pink, bright pink, and yeah, I love it. My favorite songs on this are, oh, it doesn't say them on the back. I always forget the names. Everybody Thinks They Know But No One Really Knows is cool, and TV is definitely my fave on here. Don't listen to this a whole lot, but another one I'm glad to have. This is more of a memory from that show and all that good stuff. Okay, just two more. I swear we're nearly done. We have The War of the Worlds, Jeff Wayne's musical version of it. This is nostalgic as heck for me. War of the Worlds is, ooh, my finger's stuck, is just absolutely stunning orchestral piece. And obviously it's got the story told over it with the actors, Richard Burton, all those people. This is just, if you've never listened to this before, then A, your parents didn't raise you right, because my parents introduced me to this from a very young age, but I'm joking, they did raise you right, I'm sure. But you know what I mean? You probably should have heard of this by now, but if you haven't listened to it all the way through, this is one that you have to listen to all the way through. It's a story, it's a literal like audiobook kind of thing. It's a play, essentially, with music, but not a musical. You know what I mean. Yeah, listen to it, please do. Just take a night, take an hour or two, however long it is, I can never remember. Just sit down, listen to the whole thing, immerse yourself in it, see the story in your head, and you will love it. I swear to you, you'll love it. And finally, we have a very beautiful limited edition version of the Postal Service Give Up. This is just, well, for a start, it's a beautiful, big old book style pressing of it. And it's pressed on really nice vinyl, but it's also got a booklet with a whole bunch of art and photos and stuff inside. And the Postal Service, if you don't know, this album was created by two people on like opposite sides of the US, and they just emailed, or I'm not sure if they even maybe mailed it, I think that's the reason for the name. They did mail just each part of the songs and the demos and stuff and the lyrics back and forth to each other, and that's how they made this album, even though they lived on opposite sides of the states. And it is beautiful. It's very atmospheric and ethereal, I would say. My favorites are Such Great Heights, Nothing Better, and This Place is a Prison. Ooh, This Place is a Prison is definitely my all-time favorite. And this album actually has 3 records with extras and remixes and stuff, and I haven't actually ever listened to the third record with all the remixes on, but I probably should do that. But yeah, if you want some rainy evening, atmospheric, wintry, fall-like music, then Postal Service Give Up is a go-to for that. So that's everything, guys. I'm so sorry if this video was like super ridiculously long. It's literally gotten dark since I started filming. Yeah, really sorry about that, guys, but I don't know how to make this any shorter. I really don't. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to continue collecting vinyl forever now, I guess. I will make vinyl haul videos for you whenever I get a certain good amount of vinyl up over the next months and years, and I will always be doing more music related videos for sure too. I want to do playlists and actual music recommendations, so if you like some of the music you've seen me show today, although there's a massive lack of the more hardcore stuff that I listen to and a massive lack of like just pure pop punk in there, which are two of my biggest genres that I listen to when I'm just listening to Spotify and stuff. But those are just the ones I've collected so far, so that's not a perfect representation of my music taste, but gives you an idea. But anyway, if you enjoyed some of those and you want to listen to more music like that and be recommended more music like that, then tune in for future videos with me. That's what I was trying to say. I just took a very roundabout way of saying it. That should have taken me like 2 seconds to say. Anyway, okay, this is getting absolutely ridiculous now. I'm so sorry. I have been Bunny, you have been watching me, showing you my vinyl collection today. Hope you tune in again soon. Love you guys. Mwah.